Hi everyone, so today I'll be trying out this Curtis Stone 32 quart, I believe, yes, air fryer oven from HSN. So this is one of the items I had told you recently that HSN had sent for review, and I was super excited to try this out. I love convection ovens, you know, air fryers, like just the little ovens. I always have one in my kitchen. I used to have the Wolfgang Puck one that I also picked up on HSN. Oh my gosh, many years ago. I bought it twice already, but that is more of a convection oven. I do miss having the air fryer option. I did have the air fryer oven, but it was a little bit smaller than that larger, you know, oven that I mentioned before, the Wolfgang Puck convection oven. So I switched back to that one. But this guy, 32 quart, excuse me, yes, and I believe it comes in two colors. I believe I chose the red one. So I will say that they did send this item free of charge from my review. And of course, all opinions are my own. And the links I'll have there in the description box. Again, right now with HSN YouTube, possibly embedded in the video here, would be an affiliate link, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. I love this kind of thing. So we are actually in my RV. I don't know if you probably can't see anything, but there's my microwave, my countertop, and then I have this little tiny oven here that holds maybe a pizza. And I'm sorry I have to use the tripod the way it is, so I couldn't get a good angle on that. But I would love to keep this here in the RV. I think that's what the use will be for this guy because, like I said, I have perfectly good working oven right now in my kitchen. I actually have a double oven, you know, my double oven that's built in my kitchen. I hardly ever turn it on because I'm always using my little guys. So I am super, you know, looking forward to trying this guy out. I will say I always try out a brownie recipe from like a cake mix, you know, brownie mix, because if this thing can't bake brownies, then, you know, it's not going to be good for anything else. And that's just like my rule. I don't know. Whenever I bought a small oven, if it doesn't cook brownies or bake a nice cake, then that's it. But this one has the air fryer option. So I think I'll bake some brownies and then I'm going to have to run to the store and get some fries or something like that. Something that we would normally put in an air fryer and cook that up. So I'm going to open the box. It's not super heavy. I will say it's not the heaviest thing, so that's good. But let me open the box and kind of show you a little bit. I'll talk about it, you know, how well it was packaged. Okay, I'll be right back. Well, we can just take a quick peek, and of course it's nicely packaged with that styrofoam all around and everything. And yes, I chose the red one. Okay guys, so this is how it's packaged within that styrofoam packaging. Right at the base underneath, you have these items here. These are some accessories. You have a pizza stone, which is very cool. Nice weight on that. And then you have, the rotisserie kind of thing, or roast kind of holder. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. And then some instruction, and it looks like a pan, you know, drip pan or a pan you can just place whatever you're going to bake on. In there, let's see. Oops, sorry about that. Let's see how this guy looks. So pretty already. Again, it's not super heavy. It has a nice weight, but not so heavy that it's just like so cumbersome. So let me take that off. Lots of plastic we're gonna have to remove, of course, like for these little pieces of tape and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those off. It says, attention when using the oven for first time. We suggest baking on the maximum setting without food. The oven may emit a thin smoke or distinct odor on initial use. This is normal and does not affect the performance of the oven. Of course, they always say that. So let's open this up. I am going to remove all these pieces of tape, of course. It is not, okay, it's taped up here. I was like, I think it's taped shut somewhere. So let's go ahead and remove all those for sure for this, because it's going to get hot. And there's tape up in this top corner, up here, all over the doors. Look how cute this is. When you open the one door, they both open. I love the French door. Look, I've never had an oven that has that, and I just think it's so elegant. And let's remove this. And you have a fryer basket, you know, for your air frying items. So that's really nice. I'll give you some measurements in a moment so you know whatever pans you might have that will fit in here. It looks like a quarter sheet, I think, pan is probably the biggest you're going to get in here. But it has two heating elements at the bottom. It has two at the top, which is really great. I think the oven I have right now only really has heating elements. Not this well. So I like when it has more heating elements because you do want the heat coming from the top and the bottom. The other one is convection, so maybe that's why it doesn't, you know, it circulates around. But this one also is convection though. So you have your light, your convection, your start, stop, your menu, and then your temperature dial. So let me take all this plastic off and take the plastic off of the implements here, and I'll be right back. I will say these pieces of tape that are wrapped around the whole thing, just loosen it from one side, loosen it from the other side, and you should be able to pull them through. Obviously, if it's stuck down on one side, you're not going to be able to do that, but it is interesting. There you go. And I still have a few more pieces to remove. I will say as I unwrap these things, this one has that DuraPan kind of coating on it. Okay, I'll get your measurement in just a moment. With these kinds of things, I always, and I'll just be honest, I always use my Nordic Ware pans because Nordic Ware does sell a lot of items that will fit in this kind of thing. So pans, baking sheets, muffin tins, all those things that are made a little smaller to go in a machine like this. So anyhow, let me get a ruler and see about measurements. There might have some info inside of here about that. But we'll check. Oh, and this has the toaster function also, so we'll look at all those kinds of things in just a moment. Okay guys, just a few more things. The cord is probably a couple feet long, I would say. Again, with, you know, things like this, appliances, they generally have a short cord. But I would say it's about maybe 2.5 feet long, maybe. And then we have the pizza stone that says do not put into a dishwasher. You just want to wash it with warm soapy water. It's a nice pizza stone. It's a 12-inch round. Okay. We have our rack. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down in there. And you have different areas that you can put it. A lot of times they'll tell you, like, don't put it down in this lower one, even though there's a spot for it. So you can read that in the book there. But I'm going to push that in like that. You have these little bits here that help you do the spit part of it, right? Where you're going to attach this into whatever meat. With these guys, to be honest, I'll probably never use that function. I've never used it in any of my other machines, but you do have that rotisserie function. You have this guy that helps you grab, it says it's a wire rack holder, so I suppose it helps you get this, and it does. But it also, I would assume, helps you grab the pizza stone. I would say just use this for the wire rack, though, because usually the pizza stone one's a little bit deeper. I don't know if it's going to slip, and then that's not good. But it does have this little handle that you can do some different things with. This handle is the one that helps you bring your roast out. If you're using that spit, you're going to kind of get under it, bring it out. Okay, so that's what this big handle is for. And then we have, again, this baking sheet. I don't know if I'll actually ever bake on this. I might use it as a dripping, like to catch any kind of drippings. But that's what this is for, in my opinion. And this guy is... Oh, okay, so this is 14 inches. It's probably like 14.25 inches by 10.5. But obviously you're going to put the stuff in here, not all the way to the edges, but I just want to give you that. And it looks like, yeah, this guy actually slides into those grooves, all right? So something to think about. And then your air fryer basket, which is, about 1 inch deep, I would say. And it can hold an area of about, let's see. Where is that? Oopsie. Just over 12 inches by just under 10 inches, okay? So I'm going to place this in here. Generally, if you're using this guy, you're going to want to put the basket over this, right? So I would switch these guys out, put that tray down. I don't know if this bottom one actually holds anything. That's what I was trying to say. A lot of times it might hold your drip basket probably, which would be this, right? Whenever you use the air fryer. So you place that there, and then the air fryer basket should go above this pan. So if there are any drippings, it catches there instead of falling down. I will say there is a little piece that you can remove and wash, which is always really nice. So we'll put that there. And then we'll probably plug it in just a moment. I just wanted to show you some different things. Like this is a 9-inch square pan. So let's remove this guy. And I would put this on top of the rack. Obviously, you're not going to bake generally on top of a baking sheet, but that fits in there perfectly easily. It's a 9-inch square pan, but it does have handles. This is one of my beloved Nordic Ware pans. I think this one's 12.5 by 9.5. So an 8 by 10 will definitely fit in there again. Put it on the rack. And I grabbed one more, basically a quarter sheet, which is also 12.5 inches by I think almost 10 on that one, so it's kind of an interesting size, but that fits also perfectly well. So all those things you can put your little baked goods, your cookies on. Definitely if you have a 6-cup capacity muffin pan, it'll probably fit. A 12-cup might fit if it doesn't have like handles and stuff like that, because this is pretty wide. I think it can accommodate a lot of different pans. And okay, so I did bring out this guy here. I'm going to mix this up inside the house because right now my RV, I'm just out here. It's not set up for anything, but just the basic recipe, what it says on there. And I'm going to put it into that 9-inch square pan that you saw. I know it has instructions for 8-inch, and then obviously oh, it does have a 9-inch. Okay, good. I was gonna say 9 by 13, but so I'm going to use the numbers for that. I don't believe I'll use the convection part of it, but if you want to click convection, I mean, we can. It's supposed to cook a little faster. I don't know that I've ever noticed that with any convection oven. Even my ovens in the house, they're double ovens, they're KitchenAid convection. I think with a turkey, it might help a little bit, but honestly, I don't like doing the conversion of like, oh, how much less time. So I just bake. I hardly ever use that option. Just reminded me, my Wolfgang Puck one is actually a pressure cooker oven, so it's a little bit different. But anyway, this is some of the info here for the specs. And then, your crumb tray, again, that was number 15. It says here, let me see. Oh, that's the one that we talked about where you can remove it and wash it and all that. I should be on this opposite side of this thing so we can hear me better. But okay, we're going to plug it in. I'll probably let it run like it said, to let it run at least once so that it gets like whatever little oils and stuff like that, baked off. So that's what it's telling you here. Remove all accessories, make sure the crumb tray is in there, and press the start-stop button to turn on the oven without placing any food inside for about 10 minutes. This to remove any protective substance from the heating elements. So I will do that. Let me get around here. Actually, let's go ahead and remove all these things. This can probably stay. I don't think there's a problem with that. Just a wire rack. And move some of these things to the side. And I'm going to untie this and go ahead and plug it in. Okay, as soon as I plug it in, it lit up, went beep. Okay, here we go. So let's see about this menu. Okay, so at the very top of the menu we have air fry. Let me get a little closer for you. Actually, I can just probably bring it in a little bit. Okay, air fry. Toast, and those are the options. It's giving you light to dark, and then you can mess with it here, right? Light to dark. Actually, that's something else. Here's, excuse me, sorry. Oh, I just went to, I don't know what I was doing. I was just moving this around. That's interesting. It does have a thing down here that says slices, and it looks like it would, maybe, oh, there we go. We press it. Okay. So this guy down here, you're going to press, and it changes some stuff, okay? So there you go. And then maybe once you press it, there we go. You're pressing it, it goes into the light dark options, and then you turn where you want it to be. Okay, so let's keep going. Bagel, again, same thing. You're going to push it in, change those options. Roast, broil, pizza. And it already has some presets, so if you're good with that, you can do that. Bake, cookies, 10 minutes, which is typical cookies. Usually I bake cookies at 350, so this is on 375. It just depends. Usually it's meats are 375, cookies and things like that are 350, but I don't know. Rotisserie, slow cook, reheat, warm, dehydrate. And I think there's a way for you to program these things to do what you want. So whenever you go to cookies, it's what your preset is. Anyway, and then start and stop, right? So I'm just going to go to bake, because that's what they said to do. I'm going to put it on a higher temperature. Sorry. Oh my goodness, look. Okay, so I'm just turning this way. I'm going to say 400. Let's see how high it'll go. 450 is the highest, guys, on that. So for the pizza, that'll be interesting, because usually pizzas, you want to cook them like at 500 or whatever, like some really high heat. But I'm sure it'll be fine. And then your light. That's cute. Right? That button there. Okay, I wanted to see if it turns on like when you open it. No, it doesn't do anything to it. And then you can choose convection, right? So here's your convection, and it just means convection. It didn't do anything. It didn't change anything, I don't think. So that's interesting, because a lot of times, well, on my KitchenAid, it tells you, do you want to do the conversion? I'm like, I don't even know what you mean by that. But what they mean is like the timing or the temperature is actually lower because the thing's blowing around. So it's just some stuff I don't like messing with. So this is better because it just doesn't ask you anything. It just does it, right? So let's just say start, because we want, oh, actually, let's go in here and the time, temperature. Okay, temperature is 400. I think if I press this, that's when I can mess with the time. So push it in, and I'm going to say 10 minutes because that's what it said, right? And let's just start. And see if we hear anything. It says preheat. Hey, that's pretty good. Okay, I'll come back in a couple minutes. Okay, it has been maybe 3 minutes. I went back in the house and I came back and it's still preheating, and then I just want to make sure because it looks like, it's very quiet, like nothing's going on, but I can see the red bars here heating up, and then when I open it just a little bit I can feel the heat, so I'll just keep waiting. Again, I did jack it up to a very high temperature, so if you want to wait less, I'd say, maybe 350. Can we change it in the middle? Oh, you cannot. I guess you could just stop and then redo that. Okay. And so far I don't see anything coming out of it, like any kind of fumes or anything like that, but of course it is starting to heat up right now. Maybe a light. I love that. So cute. I do have a fan built in here in the RV right above this, right there. I can click that on right there. Maybe you don't see it. There you go. But I don't know if I'll need to do that. Okay, well, that is heating up. Maybe we take a look at the recipes in here. Let's get to... All right. Oh, nachos. So we have game day nachos. We have air fried chicken. And the more I'm looking at this and the functions and everything, I'm like, maybe I should bring this one inside the house and bring the other one. I like that it says that it's about 20 pounds. I don't know. To me, it didn't feel like 20 pounds, but maybe. I like that for the RV, but it might end up in the house. So, challah bread pudding with whiskey caramel sauce. That sounds yummy. Cheesy zucchini and tomato squares. Chocolate chunk cookies with pecans, yes. Simple rotisserie chicken with mushroom gravy. It might be worth trying it out. I don't really like butchering my own chicken, so I think if I can put one in there and put the seasonings on it, I would rather do that than buy an inexpensive chicken, right? Because chicken's going crazy right now, the pricing. Well, with everything else, right? But, ooh, if you can butcher your own, that's good. Grandma's cottage pie. I've never been one to do that. So there you go. Roasted pork loin with fall vegetables. Fresh mozzarella and prosciutto pizza. And pork chile verde, which is something I always make. How do you make that in here? Maybe because you're cooking the pork? That's interesting. Okay, it just made a sound, but nothing happened. It still says preheat. I would say it's been about 6 or 7 minutes. It's beeping, and I guess that lets you know it's ready. So now, okay, so it was about 7 minutes to preheat to 400. And again, I don't see any fumes coming out, but I'll let it do its thing. And then mix up my brownies. Obviously, brownies, you don't want to let them just sit there for very long. So in a few minutes, I'll do that. I will say I always doctor up my brownies by adding chopped walnuts and a few more just chocolate chips in the batter. So you make your batter just the way it says. Add some of that. Sometimes I'll put a little caramel swirl on the top and then just kind of swirl it through and bake them that way. But today I'll just do the adding in walnuts and some chocolate chips. That's just like a handful. I'll be back. Okay, so I left for a little while. My son's getting ready for school, and I just came back and it was like this. So it must have done its thing and turned off. So that's good. I don't think it goes to keep warm or anything like that. It just went back to the bake, function here. So I am going to set it to 325. See? And I did use, I don't use Pam, I use Baker's Joy. I love Baker's Joy. So I sprayed that in there. So we're still doing bake, and we want to go, hold on. How many minutes? Well, let's actually, okay, that's interesting. I didn't say to do anything. Okay, stop. I don't know what it's doing right now. Sorry, guys. That's on me. That's on me, because I'm not changing anything. I'm changing the time. I would like to change the temperature. Let me figure this out. Okay, guys, since it wasn't reacting when I pressed start, I don't know what's going on. So I just held down the start stop button and it's completely off, and then it turned off completely. So let's say start. Let's open it up. Let's go to bake. It's still set there. That's fine. 325 is fine. There we go. Huh. Okay. And now I want 35 minutes. Again, this is new. Sorry, guys. I'm just going through the paces. I know sometimes people are like, you should know how to use this for it. How would I know how to use it? No, I just got it. So start. It's going to preheat. My stuff's already in there, so obviously that's going to take a little longer to preheat because it's already in there. You definitely want to preheat with nothing in there, but I'm going to go back inside the house because, I have kids getting ready for school. So I'm going to let it do its thing, and I'll be back. Okay, I just came back in after 9 minutes because I'm looking at my, phone and things. And it's already at 2950, so it must have taken 2 or 3 minutes to preheat to 325, and I can see already some action here. As you can see the edges, maybe you can see the edges of the brownie are kind of baking up. All right, I'll be back. Okay, it smells very good in here. Usually when I bake, I do turn my pans, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a moment to do that. You know, let's turn the light on so you can see a little better. Oh, those look perfect. I'm gonna say those because you're gonna cut them up, but that looks perfect, I guess. Let's bring this out. Give it a quick turn. Obviously, you don't want to take too much time. You don't want to let all your nice hot air out. Okay. And I'll let it keep going. Okay, about 3 minutes left. It did say 32 to 35 minutes for a 9-inch, right? So, I mean, it looks pretty good, to be honest. Let's see. Not a lot of heat coming off of it, which is great, actually. I'm sure it's still going to be very hot up here, but, you guys, I think it's ready. Great. Okay, so let me get this guy out. I do have a cooling rack here. And we'll take a look at it. So I'm going to turn it off because I'm done, but I don't know if I can just say, okay, there you go. So that was stop. I'll turn that off. So that stopped it, and you can see the timer stayed at 158, which is actually pretty cool. So you can kind of suspend it there. I don't know if turning it off, you just hold this down. There you go. All I do is hold it down and it's off. So it's very early. I do want to get some French fries going so we can test out. You know, I like a air fryer for like reheating fries, right? Like old fries from the day before, or, you know, earlier you put them in there, they get nice and crunchy again, or whatever you like your fries. But I'm just going to buy some from the store, some frozen fries, because that's one thing the kids do like to have in an air fryer. I do have lumpia actually right now in my freezer. That would be a really fun thing to put in there. Egg rolls, you know, all those different things, all right? But anyway, we'll do some fries in a little bit. I'm gonna let that turn off and let these cool off, but let's take a closer look. It's a little bit heavy with my one hand, but no, they look perfectly baked. They're not like super dark on the edge or anything like that, so that's awesome. I'm just gonna let those cool, but I will cut into them so we can see what they look like on the inside, of course. Okay, well, these are still a little bit warm, but I'm going to cut into it. I think they're ready to be cut into. Oh, that sounds really nice. I didn't even think about if I'm going to cut them in 3s or 4s or whatever, but oh well. Let's just get to this side. Let's just cut away. I did use, like I said, my Baker's Joy. I love that stuff to help not stick, but I think, you know, they're going to stick a little bit. I only spray at the very bottom. And then, let me see. I'm trying to take this out without completely destroying the brownie, which, you know, is an art form. Let's push it that way. Ooh, perfectly cooked and fudgy, and you can tell it's not raw, it's just nice. I don't know if you can see that thickness. Let's look at the next one. Oh, my kids are gonna be so happy that I did this video today. Look at that. Beautiful. And you can see down into the center, perfectly cooked or baked. All right, gotta get to the store and get some of those fries. Okay, guys, before I bring the fries over, I want to see if it needs a preheat or not. So let's turn this thing on. It's on air fryer already. That's the top most option there. It says 18 minutes, you know. Let me just press start. And it does have a preheat. So that's good. Okay. I will say, let me get this ready for what we're going to do. Pieces. I assume, like I said, this should be down in there so you don't get oil. Oopsie. Sorry, guys. I hit you there. Put this at the very bottom level. At least that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to put the basket in. I suppose you could just wait to put the basket in, you know, when you're ready with the fries. Put the fries on there. Let's do that. Let's just leave that the way it is. Just like that. I'll put the fries on here, then I'll put the basket in when it says it's ready. So yeah, it does have a preheat. And so I'll be back once that's done. While that is preheating, I will tell you, you do have the info here for the preheat, and it does tell you it's going to be 8 minutes for preheat for the air fryer, and then everything else. Toasting and bagel obviously doesn't have a preheat. Neither does rotisserie, slow cook, reheat, warm, or dehydrate. Oh, that's a new option. Well, I didn't even realize that. Great. I do have a dehydrator. You know, I love my gimmicky things. So I have Ronco dehydrators, or Ronco Peel ones, a couple of them. But let's see. So it's going to be 8 minutes. It's, I don't even know what time it is right now. So I'll be back in a few minutes, and I will bring the fries with me because they're in my freezer in the house. I don't have my little RV fridge and freezer plugged in, or turned on, should I say. And there's some other, you know, some more info there, kind of like the presets, right, of what these things do. So, very good. And that is page 10 and 11. I'll be back. I will also say, reading into the convection, it does say what that does is it blows air around, which I'm assuming is probably going to sound a lot similar to like the air fryer. It doesn't say it shortens the cooking time or anything else. It just says it's more even cooking. So maybe that's why it doesn't do all this weird, like, do you want to change the temperature or the timing and all those kinds of things. So, yeah, I'm just reading through this at this point. I have nothing else to do right now. All right, very good. I just came out of my house and I heard this thing beeping, so it just activated. It says 18 minutes. This French fry pack says 6 to 8 minutes for air frying. So, and the convection button lit up on its own. So I don't know if I can mess with that right now. Okay, that's the temperature. It did say 390, so I just messed with the temperature. And I'm actually going to press that and mess with the time also. Actually, that's the temperature. 390. Okay. Now I pressed it, and now I'm going to change the time to 8 minutes. And it's already like taking that, it's already doing it. So I'm just going to put enough fries for myself. Maybe I'm by myself right now. Doesn't make much sense to make a ton of fries. So just kind of lay them out. It does say on the packaging that you do not have to turn them over, but with air frying you always want to give it a shake halfway through. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up. It is at 7.5 now, but that's okay. So it's going, and I'll be back. Okay, we're about halfway through from the 8 minutes, so I'm going to open this up and give it a shake. Oopsie, it doesn't look like too much is happening. But let's see. I think a little more brown. All right. What you hear is very quiet. And you hear the fries sizzling. It is a very quiet air fryer, I will say. That's good. As I'm reading the air fryer function, it does say to insert the air fryer basket in the top or middle section, right? Which I have at the bottom, well, middle, because there's only one higher. And then do the preheat. So, cool, I didn't do that this time. I don't know that I will do that because it's going to be really hot. And it says when preheating is complete, you know, 3 weeks will be heard, arrange food in a single layer on the air fryer basket. So to me, that's going to be a hot basket. So you want to be very careful with that. And then it'll just start going as soon as the preheat is done, it starts cooking. So obviously it says after preheating the timer will automatically start. Press the start stop button at any time to stop cooking. At the end of the cycle, you'll hear the alert. So I don't know. It's going to end right now in the next 9 seconds. I don't think it's ready. So maybe I'm going to have to give it another couple minutes. We'll have to see. So there it goes. Let's turn the light on. Let's open this up. I would like them to look toastier. That's my only thing here. But, I mean, I suppose they are done. I'm going to put a couple more minutes. I know that's kind of a bummer because... sorry guys, my smoke alarm went off. I don't know. Okay, here we go. I'm going to add 2 more minutes. It's still on air fry and all that, and I'm going to say start. I think that should do it. Does it look like it's starting? Because before it looked a little different, right, when you got into the options. I'm going to turn it off completely, so I'm just going to hold that down. And let's say start. And let's mess with the air fry. 390. I think it's better just to set it for a long time and then just come back and check when you feel like you're ready. I'm just going to do the 2 minutes. Okay, I'll be back when it beeps. It's going to do a preheat, which is, it should already kind of be there. So I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, it seems that it's going to preheat for that whole 8 minutes, even though it was already hot, is what it seems like. And so it's been cooking these guys. I can hear them sizzling, so I'm just going to stop it. I just want a little extra something on there. And I'm assuming once it's here, it'll probably shut down on its own after a while, but if you want, you can just hold down the start-stop button and it turns off. So let's grab these guys. Do you hear them? That's all I want. I want them to be a little more brown. So again, I think you're just gonna have to, you know, start making things and see what it is that you think, how you want them, right? So again, I've never bought these fries before in my life, so I had no idea, and I just followed what it said. Let me pour these out. Sorry guys, it's hard to do on camera there. Okay, let's go take a look at these. Okay guys, so let's check these guys out. They sound good, like crispy, right? I know they're gonna be boiling lava hot, so I'm like afraid to bite into this, but here we go. A little crispy, really, really hot. Okay, you probably need a little sprinkling of salt, but I mean, what can I say? They're good. All right, there we go. So as I use the machine, I'll learn to either just go way past the time and then kind of keep an eye, or okay, these fries always cook in 10 minutes. I'll do 10 minutes now, you know, that kind of thing. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Everything came out great. Brownies, delicious. I will have the link in the description box, possibly embedded in the video here, and I'll see you all at the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye now.